Hello, good evening. This is Chuck coming to you from Chuckadelphia in representation of Infinite English Academy located in Quito, Ecuador. And tonight I'm coming to you with a remake of my mini lesson on play, do, go with a gerund. Okay, so without further ado, let's jump into the lesson and talk about this. All right, so it's very important to understand that these three words are commonly used with sports and activities, right? Most commonly, we use play when we talk about sports, competitive sports, and not just sports, but competitions involving games as well. All right, we definitely use play whenever we have games and sports involving balls or pucks. All right, so what are some of these sports that we're talking about here? Well, you talk about American football, soccer, baseball, basketball, volleyball, equivolley, right? We have badminton, tennis, ice hockey, so many of them, right? Rugby, golf, cricket, right? So when we talk about playing sports, if you have plans to involve yourself with tennis this weekend, you're going to say, I'm going to play tennis this weekend. You're not going to say, I'm going to practice tennis. And I'll tell you why in a moment. All right. But we also use play with things that, as I said, are games. All right. Like strategic games like Stratego, Risk, Chess, Checkers. Board games like Monopoly, Scrabble, right? Sorry. Video games, card games like poker, blackjack, things of that nature. So you might say, we're going to play some poker this weekend, right? So bring your money, be ready to gamble, right? So these are ways that you can use play. And the reason I wanted to do this was because I wanted to point out this definition here of practice. To perform an activity or exercise, a skill, repeatedly or regularly in order to improve or maintain one's proficiency. This is per Google. All right. So technically, it just means that you keep practicing and improving yourself in that sport to become better and most likely a professional. So commonly, when we say someone is practicing a sport, it simply means that they're a professional athlete that is preparing to become a better athlete, a better player, in a game or a season or a competition or a tournament or a championship. All right. Normally, those of us that are just everyday people, if we say we're practicing a sport, that might mean that we're getting together to practice, to prepare for a game or a tournament with our team. Right. So if you're a part of a soccer team, you and the other players might get together and prepare for a game. That is practice. That is soccer practice. But when you actually participate in the game, you play the game. You're playing soccer. You're playing tennis. You're playing baseball. You understand? When you're in the actual game, even if it's not professional, even if you're just playing with friends, you're playing soccer. Okay? So that's very important for you guys to understand. Now, we'll look at our friends from Three's Company here, Jack, Janet, and Chrissy. Commonly, we use do with activities, with sports that don't involve balls. Okay? No equipment. Now you see here, do exercise, do yoga, karate, martial arts, aerobics, okay? But other things too, particular exercises. Maybe you go to a gym, right? And you go on the treadmill. Maybe you ride the elliptical, you ride a bike there. You might say, I'm going to do cardio. You're not going to say, I'm going to practice cardio. I'm going to practice exercise. You're definitely, as we see here in the highlight here, you're not going to say, I'm going to make exercise. You're just going to say, I'm going to do exercise. I'm going to do yoga, okay? Or do karate, things of that nature. Sometimes people might say they practice yoga, but that's only with yoga, okay? So that is how we use do with activities that are not sports. Okay, sports with balls, so to speak. All right, you understand? You with me? Get it? Got it? Good. So let's talk about go with ing forms, gerunds. First of all, what is a gerund? remember that a gerund is the ing form of a verb that serves as a noun. So you use nouns as subjects, objects of verbs, and as objects of prepositions. Okay, so swimming is healthy. That's a subject. I enjoy swimming. Swimming here is an object. I'm thinking about swimming. That is an object of a preposition. I can replace all of these gerunds here with nouns, and it'd be grammatically correct. I could say, basketball is healthy. I enjoy basketball. I am thinking about basketball. Same thing. But we can't put a regular verb there. We can't just put walk is healthy. I enjoy walk. I am thinking about walk. You understand? You can't do that. Okay? Those are not nouns. But these guys, gerunds, can be nouns. All right? And so here in this example, I am swimming. That's not a noun. That's a main verb. Okay? That's not a gerund. So we can put go with various ing endings. Okay? You see here. Go swimming, go climbing, go biking, and we can use the different forms of go. Going swimming, went swimming in the past, goes swimming, simple present, has gone, present perfect, is going to go, simple future, was going, past progressive, likes to go, infinitive, going. So the go here will be flexible. You'll use different verb tenses, but what comes after it will be a gerund. And you definitely don't want to use to here. You can't say she likes going to swimming. He likes to go to swimming. Don't do that. Okay? So you'll see a list here of common expressions. And if you've seen one of my previous videos on go for a, you'll see a list here. Go for a bike ride, go for a boat ride. But then you'll see all these sample ing endings with go. Picnicking, riding, running, sailing, drinking, jogging, if you like Rocky Balboa. If you know anything about Philadelphia and Chuckadelphia, you know that Rocky Balboa is amazing, right? So you see these different uses of it, okay? Now, you can ask people if they've ever done anything fun like this. You know, have you ever gone bungee jumping off a bridge in Ecuador? Maybe Quito or Baños. Or maybe you've gone bungee jumping somewhere else. That's an ing ending. But notice, see, gone bungee jumping, present perfect with go and the ing ending. Have you ever gone sledding? Those of you that have ever been in snow know that this is pretty cool. If you haven't done it, I totally recommend going sledding. Maybe you are crazy and you like to jump out of a plane. Have you ever gone skydiving? Right? Or maybe you like to take all of your clothes off and go swimming. We call that skinny dipping. So have you ever gone skinny dipping? Like my buddy here. Okay? So these are ways to use go with gerunds. But what we don't use, 3 examples of when we do not use go with an ing ending would be weightlifting, boxing, and fencing. Okay, we would just use these as progressive verbs. We would just say, I am weightlifting, I am boxing, I am fencing. Now you can say, I am swimming, I am skydiving, that's perfectly fine. But you can also say, I am going skydiving, and that's grammatically correct. It's another way to say the same thing. But you can't say, I am going weightlifting, okay? And definitely don't say, I'm going working. Don't use go with work, okay? Work is a responsibility. It's something serious. It's not a recreational activity. Even if you have fun, you're not going to use go with work because work is work. I work. I am working, not I am going working. You understand? Okay, so that is all for tonight. Thank you very much for coming back to the reboot of the play, Do, Go with Gerund exercise explanation here. I thank you for paying attention, for coming back, and for your time. Please continue to spread the word. Tell everybody, tell your friends, your fellow ESL students and instructors to subscribe to the Chuckadelphia channel and participate. Give me comments, give me feedback, and click on the notification bell for future lessons coming your way. I appreciate your time. Have a great night, everybody. This is Chuck reporting from Chuckadelphia. Ciao, ciao.